Man.
So you don't know why I'm called the little idiot?
No, why would you nickname yourself that?
I'm little. I mean, look, I'm sitting in this chair and my feet don't even reach the floor. and,
No.
And I was just watching. That's actually the first time I've ever seen that video.
Yeah?
The clip you just showed.
Get out of here.
And you look at it, and it's like there are all these, you know, sexy women dancing on the street, and I'm walking down the street like an idiot, essentially. Yeah.
But you know what? You're really just self-deprecating, because in this article we have this. You're on the cover of Spin magazine for the month of June, and it's really, I think, a really great interview with you because it's so honest, you know. But why are you so self-deprecating?
I don't know. I think that I have a lot of good reasons to be self-deprecating.
We all do. Yeah.
It's funny because I have one of my best friends in New York. Whenever we get together, we have these arguments about who has more reasons to be self-deprecating. Like who has better reasons to have justified low self-esteem.
Right.
So we'll sit down and we'll have a glass of wine, and I'll talk to her and I'll be like, "But you're smart and you're beautiful and you have this great job and you've got a great boyfriend." She's like, "Oh no, I'm a loser." And I'll say, "No, I'm a loser because I'm little and I'm not particularly attractive and I'm definitely
born in Harlem."
Yeah, definitely, I'm not the not the brightest bulb in the chandelier.
Well, I don't know about that, honey.
No, it's true. I'm dim.
You're dim?
Yeah, really.
How does it feel for you, though, actually? I mean, you come from humble beginnings, and in a way, it's probably the source of, you know, a lot of your brightness, not your dimness. But how does your childhood play a role in what you're doing right now, how you see your life?
Well, my father died when I was 2, and I was an only child of a single parent, and my mother really had to struggle to pay the rent and to keep us fed, so she worked long, hard hours, and as a result, I had a lot of time to myself.
Right.
You know, I was, you know, a typical sort of blue-collar, latchkey kid.
Yeah.
You know, I would come home from school and spend all day, you know, playing musical instruments, reading comic books, doing whatever, but just basically I spent a lot of time by myself.
Oh, look what just appeared on the set. The cover, the Spin magazine. No, it actually, there it is. It's great. Are you happy with this?
For me, it is. I mean, at the risk of sounding immodest, it's kind of a milestone. Because, I mean, Spin is a very important, very influential magazine, and it only comes out 12 times a year, so there's only, you know, of all the millions of musicians in the world, there can only be 12 musicians a year who are on the cover.
Right.
So, yeah, to be on the cover means quite a lot to me, actually.
Yeah, yeah. You know, going back for a minute to your growing up, you talk about the fact that you tried pot at 10 years old. Which is what happens, I guess, when you're at home alone.
Well, that was, I sort of did drugs from the time I was 10 to about 12 or 13, but for completely the wrong reasons. Not that there are right reasons to do drugs, but my reasoning was I wanted to hang out with the cool kids.
Oh.
And all the cool kids smoked pot and whatever, and I was terrified of it. I mean, I was 10 years old, and I was afraid of the dark, and I was afraid of all sorts of things, but I really wanted to hang out with the cool kids, so I would hang out with them and smoke pot and pretend that I was kind of unfazed by it.
Yeah.
But the whole thing of, like, I don't know if anyone watching has had similar experiences of, like, being in your friends' older brothers' bedrooms, and they've got, like, the Pink Floyd posters on the walls, and, like, they're smoking pot, and it's just, like, it intimidated me completely, so.
Yeah. Well, now you really are hanging out with all the cool kids, because, like, the likes of Madonna and all of these people who are kind of flocking to you and to your success. But how do you see that? How do you perceive that stuff?
I recognize that the positive attention, you know, being a quasi-public figure or whatever, I can't base my well-being and my self-esteem on it. I have to base my well-being and my self-esteem on the time I spend with my friends, on the time I spend with myself, on the music that I make, because public opinion is a fickle thing.
Yeah.
I mean, all you need to do is watch one of those behind the musics, and it's like, it just seems like they always follow the same course. It's like, you know, someone from humble beginnings gets really successful, blows all their money, is filled with arrogance, ends up in a rehab or dead in a hotel room or a plane or whatever, and then in the end they end up selling real estate in Petaluma or something, you know. Right. Not that there's anything wrong with selling real estate in Petaluma, but I think that it's the notion of, like, of bitterness at the end of it. Like, if I end up selling real estate in Petaluma, I hope that I'm happy selling real estate in Petaluma. I hope that, because I know I meet a lot of public figures who are sort of like on the downward slope after their success, and they're so bitter and so unhappy, and it's like, Yeah, but you had a period where you were able to reach people and make records or make movies, and that's wonderful. And why not celebrate that rather than be bitter about the fact that someone's not doing it anymore?
You're incredibly positive, because you're right to perceive it that way. And it's interesting, one of the things I noticed about you when we were talking before the show, and I said this to you, you have a very humble spirit. You know, why? What keeps you grounded spiritually?
Whenever I take myself too seriously, which I have been prone to do in the past, I end up making such a fool of myself. Like, I've just been wrong so many times in my life that it makes it very difficult for me to take myself too seriously now.
We're going to take a break. We're going to have a lot more with Moby when we get back, so stay tuned. Welcome back to Later. I'm here with Moby. I was just telling you were saying, what's the later list? It's sort of a list of questions that I think will show different sides of your personality.
Okay.
I think you're going to be awesome with this. Because you seem to be a very complex individual.
Oh, no. I'm a simpleton. Yeah, completely and utterly.
See, you keep saying that, and I'm just not buying it. You're so talented. Maybe
But I only know how to do one thing.
Do you really feel you only know how to do one thing?
I know how to make music. I've spent my whole life studying music. I can't do anything. I don't know how to put up drywall. I don't know how to fix a toilet. I don't know,
Okay, all right, that's actually an interesting way to approach the whole thing. So I'm going to throw some questions at you.
Okay.
And then you're going to shoot back some answers, okay? What's the name of your alter ego?
Little idiot.
I love it. Define your sexuality.
I feel like there should be a clock here.
The little idiot. Tick, tick. Okay.
For these questions.
We'll see if you win.
What was the game? Oh, $60,000 pyramid or something?
Yeah. Was it the $60,000 pyramid that had the clock?
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
I don't
But there's no
remember
time
that.
pressure with these questions, is there?
No, you take your time.
Okay.
Define your sexuality in a word.
Ambiguous?
That's an interesting answer because, you know, speaking of open-mindedness, you say in one of your interviews that you like flirting with gay men.
I like people.
Yeah.
I mean, the vast majority of my sexual experiences in my 34 years have been with women. But I like people. There are a lot of wonderful men in the world. There are a lot of wonderful women in the world. I find it really weird to just make a blanket statement like I only like half the people in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I've never fallen in love with a man on a sexual level, but I'm not saying it couldn't happen.
Right.
It's possible.
Right. Well, you probably should never say never to.
Yeah,
in life,
anything can
period.
happen.
Yeah, yeah. Where were you when you lost your virginity?
I have this theory that people who've lost their virginity and had a really positive experience, I don't trust them.
Oh my God, that's interesting.
I'm being facetious, but it's like I lost my virginity and it was such a weird.
Mine was horrible.
Yeah, mine was like it was with a very nice woman, and it was in Connecticut in the suburbs. But it was her first time and it was my first time, and we were both drunk, and it was like 6 in the morning, and I was hungover, and I was 16 years old, and it's just like, and afterwards like. I just felt so freaked out by it because you spend 16 years like building this thing up, like, oh, sex and losing your virginity is such a big deal. And then finally I lost it and I really felt kind of like, it just felt, made me really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm glad that you admitted it. I never like to admit it, but it wasn't great.
Like whenever I talk to people and they say, oh, my first time was with my girlfriend, and we'd been going out for 2 years, and it was at her parents' cabin, and there was snow falling outside, and there were like deer and raccoon like looking in through the windows at us. It's like, and they're like, and they said it was perfect and it wasn't painful and everything was fine and it was all loving. It's like, that's nice. I'm happy for them, but it's just so far from my experience.
Yeah.
Drunk and hungover, being 16 years old, feeling dirty afterwards.
Right, and fidgeting around. Yeah. Who's your hero?
My hero?
Yeah.
I think I have a lot of heroes.
Yeah.
Gandhi, big hero. Christ is a big hero. Van Gogh. Let me think, as far as 20th century heroes, Martin Luther King. John Coltrane. Those are
That's a
some
pretty
heroes.
good list.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good list of heroes. We have
And the funny thing is, almost everybody I mentioned, including Jesus, was black.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just trying to say that to stir things up a little bit.
Well, no, but you know what? You know what? Though before we do take a break, because everyone here is looking forward to watching you perform, and rehearsal today has been just the best. You're from Harlem.
I was born there.
Did you grow up with black people in a black neighborhood?
I grew up in really different environments. I spent part of my time in Darien, Connecticut, which is the most racially and culturally homogenous place on the face of the earth. It's all white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. But then I also lived in Stratford, Connecticut, which was very blue-collar, you know, very racially mixed. And obviously New York City is pretty racially mixed. So I spent a lot of time going back and forth between these different places.
Right. All right, well, we got to take a break. We could actually sit and talk a lot more, but I think we're going to get to the concert. We'll have a mini Moby concert as Moby and his band are going to perform a couple of songs for us, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Later. Well, this place is like about to go crazy. From the CD play, here's Moby with Porcelain. All right. it. We'll have an encore right after this. Welcome back, welcome back. How cool is it that Ben Harper is over there watching you perform? I think that's really cool. Hey, Ben. And they were just swapping stories about what it's going to be like to do Leno. I think that's very cool. Good luck to you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're
I'm
welcome.
going to paint myself silver.
You're going to paint yourself silver? Oh,
I wanna make-
look for it. Look for it. A big round of applause for Moby and his band. Oh, no. It's a great disc. It's called Play. Go out, pick up a copy, and we're going to hear one of my favorite songs as we say goodnight. This one's called Bodyrock. I'm Cynthia Garrett. I'll catch you later.
Non-stop, y'all, to the beat, y'all. The body rock, y'all. So let's rock, y'all. Non-stop, y'all, to the beat, y'all. The body rock, y'all. So let's rock, y'all. Non-stop, y'all, to the beat, y'all. The body rock,